Jesus elucidates the meaning of the resurrection of the flesh. Said the innkeeper, "Yes, I think I understand it pretty well now, although I must admit openly that this matter is something entirely new to me and, in a way, unheard of. So, there is nothing to the final resurrection of the flesh, in which all Jews firmly believe, and for which reason they bury the bodies in designated cemeteries and hold to the belief that on the last day they will be raised again by the angels and reunited with their souls. The Jews will find it hard to believe what you have now taught. I do believe it, because you, O Lord, have now told us this and explained it thoroughly. But if someone else had explained it to me, I would have found it hard to believe, for it deviates too greatly from the existing faith. And yet I must now openly confess that, based on the experiences we have had, all this cannot be otherwise. What do you, old and new disciples, say to this?" Said one of the Greek Jews, "As far as we are concerned, we are in complete agreement with you. We certainly recognize the truth of what has been said, but we also see the difficulty of presenting this entirely new teaching to the people of this age in a way that they can understand and accept as truth." Said I did not give this teaching for that purpose, that you might pass it on to the Jews. If you wish to instruct someone else with it, you may certainly do so. But whether he believes it or not is, for the time being, of no consequence. In time, however, my true followers will, in any case, be guided into all truth and wisdom by my Spirit poured out upon them. But it is, of course, easily understood that the earthly body, once its soul has been separated from it, will never rise again and be revived in all its parts. For if that were the case, then, on the certain day of judgment, all the parts shed from the body throughout the sometimes quite long earthly lives, such as the hair, the nails, the lost teeth, and all the coarse skin parts removed by washing, as well as the drops of blood and sweat shed in many bitter cases, and so many other things that the body shed over time, would have to be awakened and brought back to life as well. Now imagine, alongside this, a human form revived on the last day. What a ridiculous appearance it would have. But human beings have different bodies at different times. For example, the body of a child is different from that of a growing boy, different from that of a young man, different from that of a man, and quite different from that of an old man. Now, in the event of the complete resurrection of deceased human bodies on the last day, one would necessarily have to ask whether all the bodily forms possessed from childhood through to old age should be resurrected simultaneously, one after the other, or even just one at a time. Then there is another very important question, which is this. Among the Romans, Greeks, Egyptians, and many other peoples of this earth, corpses are burned until they are reduced to ashes. Elsewhere, they are cast into the ocean and devoured by sea monsters, thereby becoming part of the monsters' bodies. And when such a monster dies, it is in turn devoured by other sea creatures. What is to be resurrected from these bodies on the last day? In the case of cremation, the largest part of the body has been dissolved into smoke and vapor, and has united with the air. And in the case of bodies cast into the sea, the flesh and everything else has become a component of the sea creatures, and has thus passed into a completely different entity. Who, then, would be able to pick out the formerly human bodily components from the countless animal bodies, from the water, the air, the minerals, the plants and the worms, and then put them back together again? And though not even this would be impossible for God, the question remains, to what benefit or good could such a thing serve a free soul? Truly, every soul once freed from a heavy body would surely feel most deeply unhappy if it had to re-enter a heavy body, and that for all eternity. Moreover, this would be something that could never be reconciled with God's eternal order, since God himself is a pure spirit, and ultimately, human beings are destined solely to become pure spirits like God for all eternity. What purpose then would their bodies serve? Yes, they will be clothed with bodies there as well, but not with these earthly, grossly material ones, but with entirely new, spiritual ones that will emerge from their good works here on earth, according to my teaching now given to you. If these things are so, how can anyone think that the resurrection of the flesh refers to the future revival of these earthly bodies? The resurrection of the flesh consists solely of the good works that give the soul true eternal life, those which the soul had bestowed upon its fellow men while in the flesh. Therefore, whoever hears my teaching, believes in me, and acts accordingly, him I myself shall raise up on his last day, which will take place immediately after the soul's departure from this body, and indeed in such a way that no one will notice the brevity of the transformation, for it will occur in the swiftest of moments. And now I believe that you are all quite clear on this matter as well. But if anyone still has any hesitation or doubt, let him speak up.